Parries and skeletal alignment. These are a couple of concepts that I want to explain to you. They're going to be very important to our system. We've shown you some of the offensive capabilities of the saber. Let's talk about defending against that. Okay, a parry is the act of erecting a barrier between you and your opponent's attack. There are different kinds of parries. There's absorbing parries where I take his energy and dissipate it throughout my body. There's deflection parries where I pull that energy around myself, but I still want to pull him forward off balance so he falls into my weapon, really. And there's percussion parries where I'm going to deflect him with something that's just a little bit more active. We'll cover those as we go. The first one I want to introduce is absorbing parries and this concept of skeletal alignment. What I'm looking to do is get the most strength with the least amount of effort. I want to utilize my skeleton and my bodily structure as opposed to the muscles. Anytime energy gets focused into one small area like this, like my wrist, I'm going to come up short. Okay? I want something that I can erect here and know that nothing is going to come through that. Okay? If I take advantage of this, again, one of the great inventions for the sword is this guard. That's what the saber has, this lovely hand guard. It's my shield. I want my hand behind my shield, my wrist and forearm and elbow behind my hand behind my shield, and my body behind that. This is parried out in front of me. Does me no good to pull it back here. I want it extended slightly forward. I want to set up an angle so that I dissipate the energy around me. Okay, I create a wall. I like to think of it as standing in a doorway. When I assume my ready stance, I move back inside the doorway. Anything that tries to reach me, I simply deflect into the door jamb. All right? We're going to start with 5 parries. First one comes, if the blade is in a scabbard and I draw, this would be prime or 1. This is second or 2. This is tierce or 3, quart or 4, cant or quint, depending on how you like to pronounce it, or 5. All right? Now, what does all that mean? Let's simplify this. If my body is cut down the middle and in half, okay, I have a high inside or chest exposure. I have a high outside or shoulder. I have a low outside, which is my hip. I have a low inside, which is my belly, groin area that's down in here. I'm going to focus on everything from the break in the hips up. These were originally cavalry parries, so this was where most of the work was happening. Of course, things can go down to the leg, and my low parries will move accordingly. For right now, we're going to start with the 3 on top. 4, 3, and 5. Okay? Let's begin with 5. If there is a cut to my head, most people will do this. Okay? I dislike this for a couple of reasons. One, because my elbow is not behind my hand, I have no structure. All right? So I'm very weak against a powerful blow. He's going to crash this parry and hit me anyway. All right? The other thing is I don't like pulling this back towards me because I've essentially invited my opponent inside my guard to hit me. And even if I manage to make him miss my head and face, he's going to pick up a piece of my body here. I like to imagine that I've extended my arm here. My upper arm is now in the position I want it to be at. I simply release my hand slightly. Again, that nice relaxed pivoting grip, which allows my elbow to drop under my hand, and anything coming at my head, I deflect up and over. It's extremely fast because it's very small, okay? You'll notice this is level, break, extended. I am lifting it up and over. Do not drop your arm and then go up because, again, you've created an opening. A skilled opponent will take advantage of that and whack you, okay? So I'm out here like this. This stays level. I bend and lift because that's where I want the energy to go, up and around me. That's the head parry or 5. From this position, blade's in the right place. All I'm going to do is drop my hand and create a 45-degree angle, okay? So from here, I've automatically cleared the target area. Oh, hand behind the guard, elbow and forearm behind my hand, body behind my elbow. Notice this is slightly in front of me at a 45-degree angle. The distance here, 45 degrees, is the distance is the same that I just traveled. If I were in my on guard position and I dropped to a 4, the elbow would come back towards the body, doesn't have to be jammed against it, just slightly towards getting ready to absorb, shift to 45 degrees. Again, blade's in the right place, 5. Now, when you come up, do not keep a strong grip on this or your elbow's going to go out here. You've got to release your fingers. Now, the nice thing about your hand released like this, it's like having a gun that's cocked. The trigger is pulled back, bam, away you go, okay? So this release is actually time saved. There's my 5 down to my 4. Now, I've protected my head and my chest. How about my shoulder? I'm going to shift to the outside. Now, most people will teach you a 3 here. This is fine against a light sport weapon. This is a combat weapon we're talking about. This is something with substance and power, being driven by somebody who's determined. You want to continue on out until your elbow is behind your hand. Now I have created a vertical wall of steel. Now, later on, we're going to adjust these positions to where the tip remains a little bit forward when we start doing angulated and deflection parries. But for right now, I want this vertical wall. So I am as strong at the top of my blade as I am at the bottom. Now, let's discuss that for a second. Here's my blade. Here's the middle of my blade. Top half of the blade is the business end. Top third of the blade, I like the hand span up here. This is where I do most of my cutting because it allows me to stay away from my opponent, okay? Parries should be made in the middle of the bottom half down towards the guard. That's what this is for. You have the thickest back edge here, gives you the greatest substance, and you are protecting yourself. This is where you want to catch your parries, okay? Once again, from here, I'm going to lift to my 5. I'm going to drop to my 4. I'm going to come straight across to my 3, straight back to my 4. Notice how I'm automatically clearing the target area, and I'm not moving anything unnecessarily. To go from 3 to 5, there's a trick. Because if I do this, I haven't done anything to clear the target area. But my hand's in the right position. If only the blade was here, I could lift straight up. So here's the secret. I'm in my 3. I turn my hand towards the ground, and I let the tip of the blade fall. The tip of the blade will describe a half circle, and I lift straight up to 5. So from here, you're going to find, turn the hand, the blade fall. I'm getting gravity to do the work for me. Our first 3 parries, 5, 4, 3. From on guard, straight back to 45, 3. Back to on guard, straight back to 45, 4. Back to on guard. Lift to 5. To 4, to 3, back to 5. Your first 3 parries.